Have you ever watched your own property get turned into someone else's Instagram playground while the neighborhood clapped like trained seals? What if the woman preaching community values on Sunday actually believed your barn was public domain because it looked pretty from the road? And what if the only thing that could finally expose her entitled circus was 12 very hungry, very honest pigs? Picture this, a sleepy stretch of countryside just outside Maple Grove, USA. White picket fences, perfectly trimmed lawns, and an HOA charter thicker than the Bible. On paper, it's paradise. In reality, it's a velvet-gloved dictatorship run by people who moved here for authentic rural charm, but lose their minds the second a blade of grass grows longer than regulation length. I'm Alex, ex-software engineer who traded cubicles for calluses 6 years ago. My 20-acre patch sits exactly 40 feet outside the HOA boundary, 40 feet that apparently offend Karen Whitmore on a cellular level. She's the president, the self-appointed guardian of taste, the woman who once tried to ban wind chimes because their vibrations disrupt emotional harmony. Karen doesn't walk onto your land. She glides in like she's doing you a favor, clipboard swinging like a medieval mace. 3 days before the nightmare began, I was hauling feed when her platform sandals clicked up my driveway. Blonde curls bouncing. Smile dialed to 11. "Alex, darling," she cooed. "I need your barn this Saturday. My daughter's engagement announcement shoot. We're going full rustic chic influencer vibe. You'll just need to clear out those animals. We'll bring the props. Oh, and we'll tag you. Exposure is priceless." I blinked. "You want to use my private barn with my pigs still inside?" She laughed like I'd told the cutest joke. "Of course not. Silly. Remove them temporarily." Section 4.3 of the Community Cohesion Agreement clearly states I can request use of visually significant structures for approved events. I pointed at the faded survey stakes still planted at my property line. "Karen, this structure isn't shared. It's mine. I'm not even in your HOA." Her left eye twitched, the universal Karen tell that reality had just insulted her. "You can't live next to us and pretend you're some sovereign island. Alex, we're all in this aesthetic together." I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. So wrong. The next morning, my mailbox vomited glossy flyers. My barn photoshopped with soft focus filters, fake hay bales, and a caption screaming, "Rustic royalty, save the date." She'd snapped the photo from the county road and mass-mailed it to every neighbor like she already owned the deed. I called her, voice tight. "Karen, what the hell?" "Oh, Alex, you'll thank me when your property value skyrockets. We've already rented the outfits. The crew is booked." That night, the motion cameras I'd quietly installed after her first visit lit up like Christmas. Black polos labeled event staff were inside my barn, moving tools, stringing fairy lights, unlatching the pig pen like it was their personal storage unit. I sprinted out, but they vanished into the dark, leaving extension cords and a tripod as calling cards. Sunrise brought the main event. Karen's luxury SUV rolled in convoy with a full production crew hauling smoke machines, ring lights, and, God help us, a guy in a chicken costume. She stepped out in a satin sash that read Mother of the Bride-to-be like it was a military rank. "How did you even get in?" I asked, already knowing the answer. She waved a manicured hand. "We had someone prearrange access. Details, darling." Translation: she broke in and was proud of it. While her daughter posed with a fake pitchfork and the crew blasted pink smoke for ambience, I slipped around back and opened the main gate. 12 well-fed, curious pigs trotted straight into the glitter apocalypse like they'd been invited to an all-you-can-eat buffet. One immediately bit the satin sash. Another snorkeled through the makeup kit. A third knocked over the smoke machine and turned the barn into a foggy disco of squeals and sequins. Karen's scream could have curdled milk. "Do something." I sipped my coffee from the doorway. "You want it rustic. Congratulations, you got it." Chaos dipped in perfume, rolled in glitter. The daughter, half buried in straw, finally snapped, "Mom, I never even wanted this stupid barn." Karen climbed a hay bale like it was the last lifeboat on the Titanic, waving her arms and shrieking about ruined lighting, while a pig happily munched her clipboard. One crew member slipped in manure and face-planted into a prop fence. Another yelled, "Save the equipment," as if the gear mattered more than the fact they were trespassing on private property. That's when Karen made the mistake that sealed her fate. She pointed straight at me, eyes wild. "You'll pay for this. Alex, I'll get the board to condemn this eyesore. We'll take it from you." I didn't blink. "Try it. But smile. You're being live-streamed to the county right now." What she didn't know was that every second of her glitter-fueled invasion had been uploading to a private cloud link. 300 views already, including my cousin Darcy, a real estate lawyer who keeps a special folder labeled HOA Psychos. Karen froze for the first time all morning. The fear in her eyes was delicious, like watching a balloon animal realize it's about to pop. Less than an hour later, my inbox pinged with an official HOA email titled "Urgent Violation, Community Disruption." The message accused me of endangering public safety by allowing unsupervised livestock into a shared visual perimeter event space. Shared. She was literally claiming my barn was community property because it could be seen from the road. My reply was 2 words: prove it. By noon, a folding table appeared at the edge of my driveway like a budget throne. Karen sat center stage in a lawn chair, flanked by 2 terrified board members clutching laminated packets of made-up legalese, photogenic right-of-use clause, barn aesthetics jurisdiction. She passed out flyers promising barn yoga, pop-up picnics, and an annual farm-to-table gala hosted right in front of my tractor. Neighbors wandered over out of morbid curiosity. Karen launched into a speech about elevating property values through visual unity, gesturing at my barn like it was the Mona Lisa she'd personally discovered. One board guy dared ask, "Wait, do we actually have authority over his barn?" Karen snapped, "Of course. It's within our visual perimeter." I hit play on my Bluetooth speaker. The night before, audio blasted across the field, her crew whispering, "Don't worry. We'll just sneak in." Karen's voice crystal clear, giving orders to unlatch the pens. The board members slowly closed their packets. Karen's face went the color of spoiled milk. She pivoted hard. That evening, an animal control complaint landed in my mailbox claiming I was endangering domestic animals with unsafe enclosures. Next morning, a county truck rolled up. The inspector took one look at my pigs napping under a sprinkler with classical music playing and scratched his beard. "This looks better than most people's living rooms." He left me a commendation and slapped Karen with a $300 fine for trespassing, livestock disruption, and unauthorized animal-adjacent events. She stood on her lawn screaming, "He weaponized pigs. Who does that?" A kid biking past yelled back, "Apparently someone awesome." The next day, she went full tinfoil. A thick envelope arrived, sepia photos of a barn that vaguely resembled mine. A forged letter claiming it was a heritage structure under community management. She'd even photoshopped a Tesla logo on the door in one shot. I called the county records office. The zoning rep answered laughing, "We have your original 2017 blueprints. Your name is on every permit. Whoever sent this is now under investigation for document fraud." Karen's desperation was blooming like a toxic weed. She showed up with a creative consultant in khakis, pointing at my trees, my fence, even my wheelbarrow. "This is where the Rose Arch goes. We'll need that tractor moved, too industrial." The consultant took one look at my private property signs, asked if she had permission, then backed away slowly. "Yeah, I don't do lawsuits." He left without shaking her hand. That night, Darcy texted me Karen's new Instagram story, "Barn to Bridal, a socialite's vision." She was selling $75 tickets to a gala on my property, complete with photo ops with real farm animals. VIP packages included immersive rustic experiences. She was committing straight-up fraud and live-streaming the evidence. I locked the gates, doubled the cameras, and smiled. Let her keep digging. The deeper the hole, the sweeter the fall. Her entitlement had become performance art, and the pigs and I were the only honest critics left in the audience. Every new stunt just added another layer of hilarious, humiliating proof that the woman who preached community first was really only interested in one community, herself. The sun was barely up when the black SUV with gold executive producer decals screeched in. Karen stepped out in a sequin blazer, megaphone in one hand, clipboard in the other. Behind her, a minivan vomited camera gear, wardrobe racks, and another fog machine. She lifted the megaphone like a dictator addressing her subjects. "We're filming today. Try to stay out of the shots unless you're bringing snacks." I crossed my arms. "Try to leave before the cops do." She laughed that champagne cork laugh. "Alex, you're being so stubborn. This is for everyone's benefit. We're creating something beautiful, rustic, yet aspirational." A crew guy tried to hand me a waiver. I pointed at the 6-inch letters nailed above the barn door. "No contract. No permission. No access." He shrugged and walked back. Karen was too busy adjusting a floral crown on her actress model to care. An hour later, she went live on social media announcing the first day of filming for Barn to Bridal, her self-produced pilot supposedly destined for Netflix. She described the premise: city girls finding love through farming, while panning across my barn like she'd built it herself. I sent the link to Darcy. Her reply: "She's toast. Screenshot everything. County permit office is next." Karen doubled down. Velvet ropes appeared lining the path to my barn. 2 girls in cowboy hats practiced lines while she barked directions like a budget Spielberg. She spotted me recording from the porch and actually waved. "I'm making your barn famous." "You're welcome." I narrated into my phone for my private channel. Today on Karen the Unauthorized Musical, our lead character attempts to build a media empire using theft and delusion. That evening, a crash split the air. Her fake decorative fence collapsed, spooking 2 pigs who immediately charged the snack table. Hummus flew. Models screamed and leaped on a hay bales in full makeup and heels. Karen, sweating through her blazer, turned to her assistant and shrieked. This is supposed to be a controlled environment. The assistant just handed her a napkin and walked away. A gray sedan pulled up. Mr. Carlton from County Planning stepped out with a badge and folder. Anonymous tip about an unpermitted commercial production. He took photos, questioned the crew, they all pointed at Karen, and issued citations for illegal activity and forged landowner signatures. Karen tried the "we had an understanding" line. I answered for her. "I understand you're a lunatic." The morning of the so-called bridal gala felt like the calm before a perfume-scented hurricane. Karen hadn't canceled despite the citations. Her event page still boasted 200 RSVPs, mostly sock puppet accounts and yoga moms lured by free cheese boards. I had zero intention of stopping her. Everything was rigged and ready. Guests arrived in Range Rovers and rented golf carts, following Karen's email directions straight onto my posted private property. My new signs read, "Private property, event in progress, enter at your own risk." Nobody read them. The pigs, freshly stuffed with apples and oats, roamed like pink landmines. Karen arrived late in a flowing gown that looked assembled from sheer curtains and craft store feathers. She surveyed the scene with a proud smile, ignoring the pigs already sniffing guest shoes. One kid tried to pet one and got gently nudged into a puddle. Karen called it immersive realism. She gathered her 30 actual attendees near the barn and launched into a misty-eyed monologue about the spiritual journey from urban stress to rural rebirth. Hands outstretched, voice amplified by portable speaker. That's when I hit the remote. A giant hay bale with a red bow rolled out and stopped at her feet. Laminated sign. "Congratulations, you're standing in the splash zone." A hidden spout released fermented apple mash straight into the pen. The scent hit. 12 pigs charged like a squealing cavalry. Guests scattered. High heels flew. Cheese boards exploded. Karen's dress snagged on her own decorative fence, and she toppled backward into a bucket of paint she'd left for her art installation. Her assistant got face-planted by a pig who mistook her handbag for lunch. It was beautiful, unhinged, cinematic. Phones everywhere recorded the pigs tearing through floral arrangements while Karen shrieked about livestock terrorism. 3 local news reporters I'd quietly invited stood in booths, grinning, live-streaming the whole thing. Karen finally staggered up, dress trailing mud like a soggy parade float, makeup streaked like war paint. "You ruined everything. This was supposed to be my brand launch." I shrugged. "Looks like you launched straight into the pigsty." She spotted the cameras and tried to flip the script. "There's been a terrible mistake. We were filming a charity event when this man unleashed wild animals. The reporter raised an eyebrow. Is that why you charged $75 a ticket to film on land you don't own? Karen froze. No comeback. No clipboard. Just mud. Pigs. And the cold realization that her entire empire was collapsing in real time in front of hundreds of thousands of viewers. Her daughter took one look and walked away muttering, "Never asking for this life again." The new HOA president Ellie pulled up, folder in hand. "Karen, you violated 9 regulations. Your request for expedited relocation has been denied. Enjoy your extended stay." That night, I hosed down the mess with help from the local 4-H kids. We lit a bonfire, roasted marshmallows, and projected the footage on the barn wall. Every scream, every sequin flying, every pig snort became legend. Karen vanished for a week, then dropped an apology video in front of rented sunflowers, scripted tears, soft piano, even a CGI pig she claimed to have adopted. She mispronounced agriculture twice. The internet stitched her old live streams next to the new Humble Act and turned it into a viral montage titled Karen's Greatest Hits. Sponsors ghosted. Followers tanked. She tried pivoting to baking. The only thing cooking was her embarrassment. Months later, she quietly moved 2 towns over. The HOA amended its charter so no future Karen could pull this stunt. I partnered with the 4-H Club and animal shelter for a real event. Pigs. Pies and peace. Families came. Kids petted pigs. Bluegrass played. And we raised money for rescues. No fog machines. No fraud. Just joy. Ellie showed up, served cider, and whispered, "If she tries anything else." Footage is backed up twice. Darcy flew in with a custom banner. "Welcome to the pig pen, Karen." We hung it proudly and took photos. The internet still occasionally revives the clips, now remixed with dramatic music and slow-mo. I built a tiny viewing room in the new barn called Pig Flicks. Popcorn included. I never sought revenge. I just fed the pigs, kept the cameras rolling, and let the truth do its job. In the end, it wasn't about barns or glitter or even HOA nonsense. It was about standing your ground when someone tries to rewrite the rules on your land. Sometimes the best weapon isn't anger, it's patience, a good fence, and a herd of pigs who know exactly what entitlement tastes like. If you come charging into someone else's life uninvited, you'd better be ready for the mud. Because the pigs, they always win. Sometimes the universe doesn't need a hero with a cape, just a farmer with cameras and pigs who refuse to be props. Karen wanted the spotlight. She got one, just not the flattering kind. Lesson: never let a clipboard rewrite reality. The truth squeals louder than any megaphone.